Here's cross ice pass. Score! Right off of the pass to the left side.
Check this.
Hello, hockey fans, and welcome back to Off the Post. I'm your host, Kyle Savech, and today I will be covering Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Boston Bruins versus the St. Louis Blues. But first, make sure you get the TuneIn app to listen to this podcast on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Also follow me on Spreaker to get my podcast first, as well on my Twitter for updates. Now, let's recap Game 4 a little bit. The Blues beat the Bruins 4-2. Chara goes out with a broken jaw. Returns with a full face shield. Plays like he didn't play any, but he was more like, hey, let's play cheerleader. I have issues with that, and I discussed that last podcast. But there's a bigger issue that I am going to talk about that really gets under my skin at the end of the podcast. The Blues are, even though they lost 2 games, the one game they lost, Game 3, was Bennington was having off night. I think the goaltending for the Blues would have just had an off night. And that's what it came down to. I still have Boston winning the Stanley Cup. But now I just don't know. Well, I'll discuss that a little bit later. It's just the big keys for tonight are David Backes is a healthy scratch, and Chara did play in this game. David Backes at a healthy scratch, that's just odd to me. I don't want to call it a conspiracy theory because David Backes was the captain of the St. Louis Blues for a long time. They haven't been winning. Do you vice versa and say, but I don't really think that is. I don't think David Backes has really been producing, and that's been an issue with Boston, is their ability not to produce has hurt them. You have Tuukka that helped you out, and last night they got beat, and nothing Tuukka really could have done. There was a couple here and there. We'll get into that when I get through this. I really want to get to this last part because I'm going to spend quite a bit of time ripping in the NHL. So we'll go ahead and go to the first period. For delay of game for shooting the puck over the glass, St. Louis Blues kill it off. At 17:22, Boston gets their first penalty. Brad Marchand slashing on Jordan Bennington, which was very stupid. I gave myself a night before recording this podcast because normally I do it right after the game. But I needed to have a clear idea of how I was going to approach today. I wrote everything out. I'm going to read over everything again, and I'm going to think about it. But the way this penalty was, it was a love. It really wasn't a slash. It was a love tap. At the end of a play, the goalie has the puck, and you got people swatting at him. The whistle's blown. No penalties ever get called. I hardly ever see a penalty get called. I would say never get a penalty call for slashing on a goaltender unless the puck wasn't right there. Okay? This is the first time I've seen that. A slashing call on a goaltender who has the puck. Right there should have been an omen saying, Bruins, you may want to watch out because you're about to get screwed really hard tonight. Alright. But that was the first period, really. I'll get into the stats and then I'll talk about my thoughts real quick. Blues had 8 shots on goal. Bruins had 17. Both teams had 1 power play goal. Neither cashed in. Both teams obviously had 1 penalty. Blues led the faceoff percentage 73% to 27. Blues gave the puck away 3 times. Bruins did not. Blues had 18 hits, Bruins had 23. So, since Game 3, Bennington has played very well. If he didn't play perfect in that period, the game would have been lopsided. Now, I want you to go back, okay, go to NHL.com. I want you to look up the stats and tell me sorry for hitting the desk. In the playoffs, mostly shots on goal, the Bruins haven't hit double digits in a period until this game. Even in hits, they out-hit the Blues. The Bruins aren't known for doing that. And they did. Right? I mean, okay, let me retract that. They are known for getting hits. They are known for shooting the puck, but not against the Blues. You see where I'm going with this one? It would have been lopsided because the Bruins had that pressure. They were going at it full speed the entire time. I mean, they outplayed. I mean, the Bruins looked like they finally realized that maybe the Blues are the better team. So we have to play better. And the Blues, I would say, looked a little slow. Okay. But it still irks me of what happened towards the end of the game. But no matter what happens in a game, I'm coming from a cool head on this. I'm still going to rip into the NHL on this. But coming from the other side of this, okay, I've coached football for 4 years. I have a coaching background. And one of my great mentors, actually, really good guy, you know, he would always say along the lines of, it's one play doesn't determine a game. What he means by is if there's a late penalty at the end of the game that causes your team to lose, you still had 2.5, 2 3/4 of a game to prevent that from happening. So when you look at it that way, you're like, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, the Bruins were obviously outplaying the Blues, out hitting, out shooting, all that other stuff. But Bennington just stepped up, and the Blues found a way to score. But that leads us to the second period. Blues strike first, 55 seconds into the second period. A goal from Ryan O'Reilly, assisted by Sanford and Alex Perangelo. Sanford was behind the net, and he goes on his backhand. He's kind of up on the board, and he kind of looks back and sees Riley there, and he passes it through the backhanded through his legs out to O'Reilly. O'Reilly gets a forehand, Tuukka down, and O'Reilly does a little forehand, backhand up and over the glove of Rask's. So that was O'Reilly's 6th of the postseason. I think that was 3 goals in 2 games. I think that was. Then at 9:25 into the third, penalty on David Perron for interference on David Backes. Blues killed it off. That was another thing. I mean, the Bruins only had one game where their power play was very good. They had very good power play through the entire season. Or, well, at least the playoffs. Where's their power play now? I think they're still looking for it. I still think they're looking for it. It was after Game 3. I still think they're in St. Louis looking for it. You know, they're going back there, so they might as well say, hey, can we find it? Because that's what it's coming down to. They don't know what the heck is going on. They can't get anything going on their power play. It's absolutely pitiful. It looks like a bunch of high school rec league kid out there trying to play hockey. You know, it's, okay, I got the puck. Well, actually, let me take that back. They look like a bunch of Care Bears. Okay, stick with me on this one. All right? It's, hey, you can have the puck. No, you can have the puck. No, you can have the puck. No, I don't want to shoot the puck. I think you need to have the puck. Hello? You're on the power play. Right? You have to attack. I don't know how many they would set up in the zone and they would pass the puck for God knows how many seconds. At 10, 15, shoot the puck. You have 3 power plays opportunities, and I'm pretty sure you only had 3 shots on goal for the power play. That's absolutely pitiful. They have to be able to shoot the puck and kick it off the right way. Look at game 3. Go, what did we do right? How did we beat Bennington? How did we beat their power? How they beat their penalty kill? They have to look at that and say, oh, okay, maybe we should try and replicate this. But I just don't think the Bruins have it figured out. I don't think Bruce Cassidy has his team figured out. I don't know what the issue is there. They just don't look like they should be there. But, it's only the second period, right? But this was, other than the stupid penalty at the end of the game, this was, I would say, a bit of a turning point. Not too much of a turning point, but more of a, the Bruins actually do kind of care, right? So with 10 seconds left, Alex Pietrangelo is out in front of the net, and he gets the puck from, I don't remember. And he's just waiting. Tuukka Rask out. Tuukka Rask is getting aggressive. He's getting out further. And he basically gets deked out into submission. And Alex Pietrangelo is looking at probably the biggest open net he's ever had in his career, besides probably an empty net goal. All right. And he shoots the puck. Right? Dead center middle of it. It's going in. But Sean Crowley has a different idea. He takes a whole body. He's like, nope, not today. You ain't making that in. Right? So that was, like good old Eddie Olczyk would say, remember that slave there, Doc. Right? That was, I was like, okay, I think after that, the Bruins will have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder coming out in the third period. I had a feeling this game, the whole entire time in me, I'm like, this game's going to overtime. And I think the Bruins will be able to squeak it out. But that's the end of one. Blues are up 1-0. Blues got their legs back. And I'm going to say Blues did not play they scored with 55 seconds into the third period, or into the second period. And they played very good. Their defense is very good. They smother. They're very good at smothering people. As soon as they get into the defensive zone, they just smother them. I should say, until the Bruins get into the offensive zone, the Blues D-men just smother the heck out of them. And it's good to see. That means they have good defense, and you need that. You have a rookie goaltender, and I said the entire time that you need to be, you need to pepper Bennington with shots. You just got to keep doing it. But here's the issue. If you shoot it into his chest, anyone who has played goalie could probably stop it. I've never played hockey. I've never been a goalie. So I can't tell you exactly. I can't say, that should be stopped. Right? But I'm pretty sure if a football hit me in the chest, I'm going to be able to catch it. Okay? Or a baseball hits me in the chest and I have my mitt at my chest, I'm going to catch it. Right? If you can't get it down below his knees or into his big old pillows down there he has, you're not going to get any juicy rebounds. You can sit there and shoot the puck at him the entire time, and you don't have anyone in front of the net to deflect it. And guess what? The puck's not going to the back of the net. It's simple as that. So that wasn't my idea when I was talking about peppering Jordan Bennington with shots. I was meaning like get juicy rebounds. Shoot the puck on the power play when you have an opportunity to do it. That's what you should probably do. But you did not. So, we'll look at the second period stats here. Blues had 6 shots on goal. Bruins had 8. Blues had 1 penalty, killed it off. Bruins obviously did not. Face-off percentage, at this point, 62% face-off goes to the Blues and 39% goes to the Bruins. Blues had 1 block shots. Bruins had 8. Both teams gave up the puck 3 times in that period. Blues had 11 hits. Bruins had 12 in the second. So hits were a little bit more even. Bruins still doing a good job of blocking shots, and that the Bruins they have been a team that I have seen probably try and block more shots that end up going in the back of the net because it hits off of them than any other team possible. Now, I'm not saying this didn't happen in this game. Maybe. But there's a lot of times where that puck hits them and it goes down pretty close to the back of the net. And it's hard for Tuukka to stop those because it changes directions 2 feet in front of him. There is a lot of cracks that I see in the Boston Bruins. There's not a lot of cracks in the Blues. I think they filled the void of penalties. I mean, still they're committing like 3 penalties a game, but they're starting to fill that void. Okay, Bennington's playing a lot better. The top lines, the top producers for the Blues are coming out. They don't really need to block shots because most of those shots Bennington can see, because the ability for the Blues to push the Bruins out in front of the net, away from the net. And that's been an issue with Boston. You could block as many shots as you want, but if Tuukka can't see anything, one of those times that puck's going to go in the back of the net and he could have possibly saved it. But you're too lazy or you're too weak to get someone out in front of the net, away from it. But we'll go into the third period here. 3 minutes and 9 seconds into the third period, Blues get a penalty on Alex Steen for interference on David Krejci. Blues kill that off. So that was the only really action. That was the only. It's not okay. My bad. That's not the only thing. Okay. What we're gonna talk about is the blown call I would say this was close to 11:50 or 10:50 into the third. Bozanic gets away with a trip on a Chari. And so what happens, if you did not watch the game or if you didn't hear exactly what happened, but Chari was on the left boards, when you're looking at the net of the Bruins, was on the left boards. And Bozic is coming behind him, going to try and play the puck, but totally misses the puck and upends him. I mean, Achari went flying in the air. You could say, well, maybe that was embellishment. Okay. But my point is that Bozic still ran into him, right? And he flipped him up. It would have been a tripping either way. No matter what was, that's a tripping call. It's a tripping call, NHL. You have blown calls the entire time in these playoffs. But I regress. The Blues or the Bruins did they were like, that should be a penalty, that should be a penalty, that should be a penalty. If the whistle's not blowing, the game's still going. Okay? So you have to keep playing. You can't leave your goaltender out to dry. Achari, get up. You're not that hurt. Yeah, you flipped up in the air. You're probably shaking up. But don't look at the ref. Why is that not a penalty? That should be a penalty. Why don't you blow the whistle? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, the puck's in the back of net. That's bullcrap. I can't believe it. Get up. Play the game. Quit being a teenage, preppy, high school kid. All right? Stop doing that. You're a grown-up. Get over it. All right? You're playing a game. You get to play a game for a living. Okay? Yes, you're on the biggest stage, you're on the biggest stage of your respective sport. You got billions of people watching you. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I guarantee you, if I went to a job, here, in the military, right? So, we drive trucks. Okay? I'm in transportation. And say I am ground guiding someone, right? And out of the blue, I don't know, I fall, okay? Well, the person in the truck doesn't see me that I fell, and he keeps going, and he runs someone over, okay? Now, I know it's a little bit extreme, but I'm trying to put it in layman's terms here. Who gets in trouble? The guy ground guiding or the guy in the vehicle? Well, it depends. It's a 50-50 call. Exactly like this. It's a 50-50 call. But it shouldn't have been a 50-50 call. I don't know where I'm going with that story, alright? That was pitiful, that was stupid. Yeah, I'm just so frustrated with the NHL right now. But the Bruins did score at 13:32. Jake DeBrusk scores a one-timer by Krug and DeBrusk. By Krug. Krug assisted it. DeBrusk his fourth of the postseason as far as the goal. At the end of the game, I'm going to go through the third period stats, and then I'm going to go ahead and rip into the NHL. Blues shots on goal 7. Bruins shots on goal 14. Blues 1 penalty. Bruins none. Blues 5 hits. Bruins 8. Both teams had 1 block shots. Both teams gave it the puck one time in the third period. For the whole game, shots on goal, Blues 21, Bruins 39. Face-off percentage, Blues 59, Bruins 41. 0 for 1 on the power play for the Blues, 0 for 3 for the Bruins. Blues 6 penalty minutes, Bruins 2. Blues had 34 hits, Bruins had 43. Both teams had 15 block shots. Blues gave away the puck 7 times. Bruins gave away the puck 4 times. Thank you, I can speak English. Jordan Bennington was 38 of 39 on shots, a .974 save percentage, 1 goal against. Tuukka Rask had 19 saves versus 21 shots for a .905 save percentage and 2 goals against. 3 stars of the game, Ryan O'Reilly, number 2, Jordan Bennington, and number 3, Torrey Krug. So let's get in these NHL refs. All right, I tweeted this out last night. I said, I have respected the NHL refs, okay, for a very long time. Ever since I've been watching hockey, I said, wow, they really are really good with on the point stops, this, that. I mean, they're really good. We're really good at that, right? Now you introduce replay and all this other stuff, and refs aren't as good as they used to be. That's everywhere. That's in my opinion. How do you miss that call? Helen Keller could see that was a trip. You're telling me a guy gets upended playing the puck, and a guy coming behind him does not make contact with him, only with his stick, and he gets upended. You're going to tell me you're going to sit there And you're going to watch. It was not like it was behind the play. The puck was right there. Everyone's watching. You're behind the person and you say, oh, that probably should be a trip and I should probably raise my hand. Nope. Do you raise your hand at all? Nope. Not at all. This is the perfect example going back to game 7, the first round, San Jose Sharks versus the Knights. Right? Do I think that should have been a 5-minute major? Yes and no. That call's still a little bit iffy. But what I'm saying is, these refs, here's the perfect example. Here. Colorado, San Jose Sharks. Overtime. Game 1, game 2. Hand pass goal. Out of everything that you review in the NHL, even some of the other sports where I'm like, you're not going to review that? That's pitiful. Well, let me say, they did review it, but in the rule book it states they can't review that portion of it. The hand pass goal, right? Was it a goal? Yes. But was it a hand pass in the offensive zone that led to the goal? Yes. They have to be able to call that. They did not call that. Even with offsides. Like Landeskog, that offside call that he was onside, scores a goal, but it ended up being offsides, blah, 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 along the lines of that. Where I remember watching hockey and being like, wow, how did they call that offside? They didn't, what I'm saying is the offsides. They wouldn't review it, but they would go back and after, stuff and like, wow, those refs really did call that right. That's amazing how they can be able to do that so well. Now, where are you now, NHL refs? Where are you? You're like the NFL refs. You either flag everything or you don't flag jack crap. You flag one team, you don't flag the other. Right? Yeah, the Blues had 3 penalties. They should have had 4. Okay? I'm sorry. You're terrible. These refs, this postseason has been absolutely terrible. It irritates me. It's been they're stupid. They don't see anything correct. They don't understand the game or something because they don't see it. They never have. They never will. They're blown calls everywhere. More blown calls, more controversy than I have seen in this postseason for a long time. The refs nowadays, I guarantee you, was it 13, 15? I don't remember what year it was. I want to say it was 13. Andrew Shaw headbutts a puck in the back of the net. You can't do that. But I guarantee you, these refs will be like, oh yeah, you're right. That's a goal. In the rule book, it clearly states he can't do that. But we're going to allow it. In the rule book, it states, if you are making a play on the puck, right, but you don't hit the puck, and you're behind someone, and you trip them up, that's a penalty, right? I'm pretty sure that's a penalty. Like I said, Helen Keller can figure that one out. But these refs are just coming up with their own dang things to do. They reviewed. Well, what? They were reviewing 2 goals that weren't really goals. They were just like, these could possibly be goals. We're just going to review them. Right? That's the kind of crap that review's doing. Toronto, you need to stop coming in every 5 seconds. Or you need to come in at the right time. There should be no way. Offside's a little different story. But I'm just saying, there should be no way that nowadays that the coach's challenge should be a thing. Because you're telling me you have a war room. Regular season, I get it. Playoffs, I would say the first 2 rounds, I get it. You're okay, you're in the you're the Stanley Cup Finals, blah, 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 here and there. There's only one game on TV. The rest should be like, the people up top should be like, in the war room, like, No, that's definitely not a goal. That's a good call. Don't call the refs. Don't discuss that with them. Because you're slowing down the game. Okay? NHL, they have issues. They need to adjust the issues. Because that was down to the T, that was called favoritism. Okay? But, like I said, it's not because the one play. I think what frustrates me more about it is because the Bruins were playing like the Blues and they didn't get any kind of luck. Okay, I don't want to say it was luck, whatever the case may be, but the first 4 games, Blues come out, I'm going to hit you, I'm going to shoot the puck, I'm going to keep hitting you, I'm going to shoot the puck, I'm going to keep hitting you. They didn't do that in this game. Bruins did. They only scored 1 goal on a delayed call. Jordan Bennington since game 3 is like, guys, he probably wasn't like, guys, I'm sorry for that loss. He's having an off night. We committed a lot of penalties. They scored every time. But it's fine. We're going to regroup. We'll be fine. He's been playing perfect. I give this guy more credit. But it's also easy to make saves when the pucks are shoot right at you. Right? It's easy to do that. The Bruins are in trouble. They are in huge trouble. Okay? Because here's where the trouble's at. The Blues are good on the road. It's going to St. Louis. Right? Game 6, St. Louis. Bruins win. Game 7, at Boston. Who are you taking? The team that can win on the road and the team that's been shaky at home. I'm taking the road team. So, Bruins, you might have screwed yourself by not winning Game 5. You're in trouble. Yeah, you have till Sunday to figure it all out. You better figure it out quick. Because I have a feeling if the Bruins do not win the Stanley Cup, Bruins fans, I'm sorry. Your team's getting demolished. It's getting dismantled. From the head coach down, getting dismantled. 1, you have a bunch of old players. 2, you get David back. You get a bunch of people that haven't been producing for you. When I look at the scratches and I'm looking throughout the course of the season, I'm like, well, that player was playing a lot. That player was playing this person, this, and now they're all scratched. They're not in the lineup every night because they can't produce. You're turning into a Tampa Bay Lightning who can produce during the regular season, but as soon as they get to the postseason, they can't. Yes, you made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Yes, you are making it to Game 6. But you shouldn't have an issue with the Blues. I'm sorry. It shouldn't. It should have been an easy series win for you, a nice easy Stanley Cup. The City of Champions just screwed themselves because they lost at home in Game 5. But also I'm going to give kudos to the Blues defense, who has smothered the heck out of the Blues, or out of the Bruins. The entire time. The Bruins get in the zone, they have to chip. They chip and chase. Well, guess what? They can't chase into the zone because they're going back to their defensive zone trying to get the puck again. Because they smother them. The penalty kill just smothers the power play. It's great. It's great hockey to watch. It really is. The only reason I'm looking, I would be more. I know you're supposed to be, that. You're supposed to be Switzerland. You're supposed to be in between. You're supposed to care about both teams here and there. Well, 1, I'm not a politically correct person. I don't get paid to do this. Okay, I'm a fan talking about hockey because I want to, right? I have the microphone. I have the ability to do it. I want to do it. I want to improve on it. So that's why I'm doing it, right? I don't like the Blues. I hate them. Every time I see their name, I'm cringing. I want to just set the name on fire. So I have to sit through the Stanley Cup Finals and watch the Blues win when I don't want them winning. I'm a Blackhawks fan. I don't want the Blues winning. I don't care if everyone says, well, they're in our division. That just shows that our division is stronger. Well, no, it shows that we didn't make it to the postseason. It shows us that that team beat us when they were dead last in the league. Right? That's what that shows us. That's what that shows us. So all you Blackhawks fans that are out there saying, well, I'm glad the Blues won. Okay. What if you're a Cubs fan? Right? And the St. Louis Cardinals win the Stanley Cup. Not Stanley Cup. The World Series. That's the exact same thing here, buddy. So you can't contradict yourself and say, well, they're just... No. You're wrong. Because I guarantee you, I can ask any Cubs fan and say, if you didn't make the postseason, would you be okay with the St. Louis Cardinals winning the World Series? What about the Bears and Green Bay? I doubt you. I would find one person to say, yeah, I would pick Green Bay. No, you wouldn't. So why are you applying it here? That just means you're not a hockey fan. That means you're not a Blackhawks fan. You're a bandwagon fan. All you true Blackhawks fans don't want to see the Blues winning. Going on a rant because I'm a little salty. Okay, I'm irritated. I'm salty that the Bruins can't pull it out. Yes, we faced the Bruins in 13. Well, we beat them. So don't think about that anymore. It's 13. That's 6 years ago. Stop thinking about it. But that's going to do it for my rant, okay, for Off the Post. Game 6 will be Sunday, June 9th at 8 p.m. Central Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time on NBC. Be sure to get the TuneIn app, listen to the podcast on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. Follow me on Spreaker so you can listen to this podcast first. Also follow me on Twitter at IIVTechII for updates, comments, concerns, all the other stuff. And I will be coming out with another podcast called VTech Talks Sports. And I'll give you a rundown basically how this works. It's not me really going over stats, not covering certain teams. It's going to be covering sports in general, but looking at it from what hot topics are, discussion points that need to be talked about, player safety, along the lines of that, because nowadays you watch sports, they talk about it, but they don't talk about an extended period of time. They don't keep talking about it. They only, they talk about certain games. You have the NBA playoffs. I won't be talking about this. I may dabble in it a little bit, but I'm not going to be talking about that kind of stuff. I'll have a point about player safety and fan safety for NBA games. I'll have that coming out. I'll talk about that stuff. But that way you'll hear if you like my rants, if you like me getting into a little bit, be sure to look out for that because that will be coming shortly. But I'm Kyle Savitich. I want you to enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your evening, whenever you're watching this, and hopefully catch you in the next podcast.